So hi, my name is Ev. Welcome to Buddy is in Charge and welcome to the Curragh in County Kildare. There is a military base here, so every so often you might find these, so they give you a fair warning and fair notice of different road closures in the area. So this is an interesting little place. It was actually called Donnelly's Hollow. That's where the Irish champion boxer Dan Donnelly and the English boxing champion, man by the name of Cooper, had a fight, and the Irishman won. He was famed for a very long-reaching arm, and for years that mummified arm was actually in a local pub. Now I did see it some years ago, not sure whether it's still there or not, but yeah, as you can see, it's a natural little amphitheatre. You can imagine many hundreds of people surrounding here, and they also have footsteps, so go over here to the footsteps, and these are the ones. There you go. So let's have a look here. There's a bit of information on him. So Dan Donnelly was born in Dublin, 1788, and he was trained in bare knuckle boxing by Captain Kelly of Maddenstown on the Curragh of Kildare, which we are here. He beat Tom Hall from the Isle of Wight on the spot for 20,000 spectators, and then on the September the 14th, 1814, for prize money of 100 sovereigns. And it was George Cooper. So yeah, this is where he was. So, and he was knighted to become Sir Dan in a tavern immediately after the fight by the Prince Regent, later King George IV. So now, there you go. Bit of interesting information. And these are apparently his footsteps as he made his way up the hill. So yeah, there you go. Plenty of crows. So yeah, the Curragh is a place of many tales, of stories, of mysticism and legends. And it's possibly because it's so different to other parts of Ireland. You normally find fields, while here it's open land and it's plain. And every so often you will find little hills like that one over there. And these are the hills which would have been used as places of importance for local chiefs, and would also be, I suppose, the end point of one chiefdom and the next one. And they were great meeting places. So, yeah, you have a bit more of the plain there. Anybody want to shout out for? So this is commonage grazing for sheep. And when you are in the area, you have to be careful because obviously there's no fence between the road and them. And what we're going to do now is we're going to go up here to this little knoll. It looks like as if it could be a graveyard. So we'll see what it's like up here. It's a bit windy up here, but you might get the idea of what the Curragh looks like. So it is a glacial deposit of a receding ice sheet many millions of years ago, and it's got a gravel base here, and the places are 70 metres deep, and this holds a lot of water, and it's called and this particular one actually has around about 20% to 25% of local water, as in drinking water. So I was right, this is actually a little cemetery. I'm just going to go up and have a look and pay respects. Can you imagine being buried here? So I have stumbled upon a war grave here in the Curragh. So these are all military men. And looking at them, we have many in the British Army. Don't forget, Ireland was under British rule. So this is the Royal Army Service Corps. He died 23rd of August 1915. Curragh Rangers. Royal Field Artillery. So I'm just going to show you this way. So hopefully you can see a tower there in the background, and that is the current army base here. It was since 1856 there has been a permanent military base here on the Curragh, and it was obviously started off being from part of the British Army, and then in 1922 it was passed on to the Irish state. And for a time the Prince of Wales, who became King Edward VII, was actually stationed here too. So it's just another little bit of trivia. So many, they are all so young, 18 years of age, 20 years of age. So there's a lot of the Royal Lancers here. I'll just try to see if there are any other regiments. Leinster Regiment. Again, these would have been part of the British Army. Leinster Regiment. So it is a stunning place. I didn't even know this place actually. I knew one existed, but didn't know it was here. So I'm glad I actually came up here today. So hopefully later on this year I will be visiting a place where one of my own ancestors or ascendants, where he served. Now, he did survive the 1914-1918 war, unlike all of these gentlemen. 6th Dragoon Guards, Royal Engineers, Curragh Rangers again. So yeah, so this is their resting place, and I have to say it's a stunning place to be at rest. And we have the Staffordshire Regiment here, 16th of June 1921. Now, okay, around the Dragoon Guards. Yeah. So there's a few Staffordshire here as well. Leicestershire. Staffordshire. The Curragh of Kildare is very famous for its racecourse, and I'm just panning around here. So in the background you should see the hill of Allen, and then below that is the racecourse, and it's home to the Irish Derby, the Irish Oaks, the 1,000 to 2,000 guineas as well, and there's another big race, can't remember the name of it, but I will put it in to the comments below. So yeah, on I go back down. Now I did not bring Buddy in here, obviously it's a place of rest, and my other family member has gone off with him, and we're going to have our picnic now. And after weeks of rain, there's some blue sky. So dotted around the Curragh are many racing stables, and every morning, if you are lucky enough and up early enough, you can actually see them go out onto the gallops and work in the strings. So usually, I think it's up to about midday, I think it is, that they have to stop, and then people can walk along areas where horses would normally be. So it's a nice spot to come to. Fantastic place to have picnics if you're in the area, and stunning scenery too. So this is back of the training grounds, the Curragh. So it was a bit of a heavy shower of rain, and we're going to head up this way for a bit. Not very far, but hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit more of the Curragh. So over there you can see two prominent hills. The left one is the hill of Allen, and that means we're very close to the bog of Allen. And beneath these hills there have been a number of discoveries over time, which are preserved human sacrifices, and some of those are in display in the National History Museum in Dublin city centre. So it's a great spot for walking dogs as well. So during the time when the army base was set up in the other part of the Curragh, there were people called the Curragh Wrens, and to make it nice and polite we'll say that they were young ladies, and we shall leave it like that. So they would have been staying in places like these, and they would have stayed in little nooks and crannies around the Curragh, and they would have met their gentleman friends. So Buddy is off investigating, as he normally does. Just go for a nice little bit of a walk. I'll show you the racecourse now. It's coming into view. At the moment we're on what is known as the Curragh training grounds. Ahead of you, you'll be able to see the Curragh grandstand. That weather now is over Dublin city. and that is the famous racecourse. And just one last little bit of information about here, and that is that somewhere on the Curragh plain there's an unexploded World War II bomb, because in 1942 the Curragh was bombed. Even though Ireland is a neutral country and was at that time as well, it was also classified as an important military place. So this is where we're going to say goodbye to you. Thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you again soon.